Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at Home Depot out in North McKinney, Texas. As always, please make sure you're hitting the like button for this video, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. That is the fastest way to get in touch with me directly. If you have any questions about plants, plant care, or just want to connect with me, follow me on Instagram. So this morning, I decided to go to the Home Depot way up north in North McKinney, Texas, just to see if I could find that elusive Anthurium dock block that was released by Proven Winners. So we'll see what that looks like, but I will also just take you on a big box store plant shopping spree. You can see right here that a lot of these big box stores are now getting some holiday plants for Christmas and just the holidays in general. We've got some poinsettias right over here. Let's take a look at this one right here, how much it costs. This one is only for $4.98. Now, I will tell you, as far as poinsettias this year, I want to go and find me a poinsettia, like a pink one that's highly variegated. I think that would be fun to just keep as a long-term plant. Now, as far as the plant care tips for poinsettias, I do know that they need to be consistently watered. Bright indirect light is what you want to give poinsettias. And it's interesting because a lot of poinsettias are really just grown as a seasonal holiday plant. Like this one right here is a nice pink one. And notice how it has a little bit of that sport variegation. Let's take a look at that right here. And the colors of the poinsettia are actually the leaves. The blooms are actually just very tiny. And then you can see right here, Proven Winners H2O Leaf Joy bowls. These are for $19.99, and these are all hydroponic. So basically you are growing the plant in straight water. You can see right here the Macaulay's Finale Philodendron. And again, I want to see if the Dallas area has received the Proven Winners Dock Block Anthuriums. We've been seeing a lot of that actually out, I think, in New Jersey and out on the West Coast. But we will see if the DFW market has the Anthuriums available. If you haven't already and you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you want to stay up to date about some of these new plant releases, definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel with all the notification bell on. Make sure that it's not for personalized notifications. Definitely click notification bell on for all notifications, just in case I do upload a video or I do find these Proven Winner Anthuriums by Dock Block. So we're going to see what that looks like. But right now I am going to show you some of these Leaf Joy H2O bowls. You can see we've got some pothos plants here. And to be honest, I don't really want to spend $19.99 on a pothos plant that's in water, just because I feel like I could create that myself. It is an interesting concept, but I do find that the Leaf Joy series, the H2O bowls, are a little bit pricey. You can also see they've got Leaf Joy Littles by Proven Winners. That one is a trade scantia feeling flirty. And then we also have a spider plant right over here. Now these are all for $5.98. I do think that these are good starter plants, and you can see right here. Now I do find this attractive, and this one is for $29.99. This is a Monstera Deliciosa in a Leaf Joy H2O bowl. I think it's a cute concept. I think it's a concept that if you don't have like a really nice bowl like this, you can buy one. Although if you go to Home Depot, sometimes they will actually put those on sale. Now over here we do have a bunch of Christmas cactus. So around this time of the year, obviously in November, December, you will find Thanksgiving cactus and Christmas cactus. Honestly, these could be Thanksgiving cactus, just because these cactus are starting to bloom around that same range. I mean, I just can't believe that Thanksgiving and Black Friday is literally going to be 2 weeks from now. It's going to be crazy with all of the deals and sales that you're going to see a lot of retailers put out, and hopefully some of our plant nurseries and big box stores will also put some nice deals. I always like looking at this, and the reason why I like looking at these Kalanchoe, I do like the bowl it's the planter it's in, just because there's so many varieties of flowering Kalanchoe. It is a succulent, and I didn't realize that it was a succulent plant until recently. And then you can see right here, this is a crown of thorns. I love that as well. And I love the fact that it has that pink bloom around it. This was only for $7.98, which I really think is a good plant buy. I ended up finding one of these blooming anthuriums as well. It's not the Dock Block Michelle Anthuriums we're seeing, but we're gonna see if we have this available. Again, plant foldies. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. I can't guarantee that. I just really took I guess just a adventure to see if we can find these proven winners plants. Sometimes whenever you go to a big box store, you may actually be surprised about a plant release. A lot of times social media will actually post it. You'll find it on other social media platforms. But sometimes, like when I went to Lowe's, where I wasn't really expecting to find another neon enjoy pothos, I was able to find it. So we're just going to take a look at this Home Depot. I will say that this Home Depot has a phenomenal display of different types of Christmas trees. It is about to be the second week of November, and all I can tell you is look at how gorgeous these Christmas trees are. A lot of people are actually putting their Christmas trees up even before Thanksgiving. You can see a lot of retailers actually putting a lot of these Christmas trees on 50% off, and we'll just see how all of that pans around. I am curious to see what plant nurseries are going to have some really good Black Friday deals, if any. But one thing is for sure, I definitely want to try to find those Anthuriums. I can't believe that dock block Anthuriums are being sold at a big box store. So we'll see. As you can see right here, they do have a table of some houseplants. And on top of just looking for the dock block Anthuriums at Home Depot, I do want to highlight a lot of the seasonal plants, like all of the Christmas trees that they have, the live Christmas trees. And this one right here is actually a really nice new alocasia release right here by Proven Winners. Let's take a look at the plant ID. There you go right here. Mystic blackout alocasia. I love the black stems. That's another alocasia that I wouldn't mind adding to my plant collection. And the thing about it is, Proven Winners is typically known for the outdoor gardening plants, but I'm so glad that Proven Winners has really delved into the indoor tropical plants, indoor house plants. They have a range of philodendron and uncommon plants, and I appreciate it. I do think that some of Proven Winners plant pricing might be a little bit more on the more expensive side, but they do have quality plants. Like right here, this is a Ficus Amstel King. I do like this as well. Now, as far as Ficus, again, my recommendation for the plant care tips for any Ficus plant is to make sure that you are providing them with bright indirect light and making sure that you are staying on top of the watering. So I would say water the plant when it is about 40 to 50% dry, and then just water it and give it a good soak. But as far as these two Proven Winner plants, we haven't run into the dock block Michelle Anthuriums, Anthurium Michelle. Who knows, we might find it. And the thing about it is, I am seeing that this Home Depot has some light stock in terms of just the indoor tropical plants. So I may not find it, but I am going to go to, another location just to see if there's any other plant finds. But as far as the plants here, and again, I would recommend just watching this entire video to find out whether I find the Proven Winners dock block Anthuriums Michelle at a big box store. But you can see $14.98. I do love that they have this Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess. It is one of the more common Hoyas to find, but needless to say, it is still an easy to care for plant. Hoyas are so forgiving. Hoyas come in so many varieties, and I just love them. And then if you're able to get them to bloom, that is a huge plus. I haven't been able to get mine to bloom yet, but who knows? I might be lucky. They may end up blooming, but at least I haven't sent a Hoya to plant heaven. Now, this is a beautiful Tradescantia Feeling Flirty. It's a little bit more compact. It is for $19.99, and I do have one of these as well. I did get it on sale for it was 50% off. So that's the thing about going to big box stores. I always say sometimes the unexpected things, like plants being on sale or doing going in there and finding an unexpected rare plant find, that's what makes big box store plant shopping fun. And then on top of that, most big box stores will have have very cost-effective plant pricing. So I know that I do these daily videos for all of our plant foldies here. And again, I wanted to say thank you so much for always tuning into my plant content. I work very hard to try to get you that daily plant content, with the holiday season being extremely busy for me as far as just, my career. I'm at least very happy to know that these plants, being able to get some of this plant shopping for my, my plant content. So thank you for tuning into my live premiere chats. I really appreciate it. And then you can see right over here, we've got another proven winners, new release. It's not the Anthurium. This is another Philodendron golden crocodile. I love that as well. And it's one of those plants that I just appreciate. It's a gorgeous neon colored looking plant. I love the yellow neon colored leaves. It is a really beautiful plant right here. So we're gonna see what that all looks like in terms of the plant. As far as getting more of that neon colored look for that philodendron, you want to make sure you are providing it with quite a bit of bright indirect light. I would say let the soil dry out completely before watering the philodendron golden crocodile. It is also a trending tropicals Costa Farms plant, so I'm glad that Proven Winners is actually releasing more philodendron. I am still surprised that they were able to get some dock block Anthurium Michelles, and I've just recently gotten into those types of Anthuriums because in the past I found that Anthuriums have been a little bit more challenging for me. My leaves would get a little bit crispy or yellow, but then after I changed my substrate from soil to lechuza pon or leca or semi-hydro, it has made growing Anthurium so easy. I love that as well. It's one of those changes in the substrate that really impact the long-term growing ability for me to grow a plant like an Anthurium. And as you can see right over here, I am just picking up a bunch of Ficus elastica. You can see that this one is a Ficus elastica ruby. Now with the ruby, as far as plant care tips, again, it is a Ficus. So you want to make sure you're giving it quite a bit of bright indirect light or just full on sun. If you want, if you're able to just acclimate it, it will do phenomenal. If you're able to provide it a higher humidity condition, it's going to also enjoy it as well. These plants are very easy to take care of. The only thing that makes them somewhat challenging is the lighting requirements. And again, most people will not have the best lighting conditions in indoor spaces. So if you have to grow plants indoors, but you don't have the best lighting conditions, I would always suggest supplementing your lighting with some grow lights. As far as grow lights, I will ask plant foldies that are watching this channel that use grow lights, what grow light brands would you recommend? I know that I use Sansi grow lights. I am curious to try using Soltec grow lights. I find it that there's many positive reviews. So again, give me your insights, as well as if you've made it this far into the video, please hit the like button for this video. I will say that your likes will definitely help this channel grow even further, because it does push this content out to more plant foldies like yourself or future plant foldies. So definitely hit the like button. And I also encourage everybody to leave comments in the comment section. I know that some of you guys may watch this video during the live premiere chats, but I do hope you will also leave some plant insights, plant care tips, or if you've been able to find an Anthurium Dock Block Michelle by Proven Winners at Home Depot. That is the hot topic of the hour. I am super excited, and I'm pretty confident that if I am not able to find that Dock Block Anthurium at Home Depot at a big box store today, I just know that the Dallas-Fort Worth area tends to get some really good plants in general. So we will see. But you can see that this is an amazing looking dark foliage plant. This is a Ficus elastica burgundy, and I just really love the look of the Ficus elastica burgundy. Really nice looking plant. Love the look of it. You can see that it's got a natural shine, but I will say if you don't provide it with quite a bit of light, it will not get you that dark foliage. It's going to be more of a darker green color. So make sure you are providing it with quite a bit of light. I will say that Ficus elastica plants, these rubber tree plants, are a little bit more drought tolerant. Their leaves are very waxy, they're very rubbery. And I did want to show you some more new Proven Winner releases. So Proven Winners has released some gorgeous philodendron, and this one right here, unfortunately, this one particular leaf kind of snapped. This is a philodendron squamiferum. I already have one, but I love the fact that they have this available. These are for $29.99, and if you're looking for a nice philodendron squamiferum is an interesting one, because if you look at the petioles on the leaves, it's nice and fuzzy. And again, I love the look of this dark Ficus elastica. And I know this sounds silly, but I really like the look of the Philodendron mayoi. This is for $29.99. I already have one as well, but this one is a really nice size. You can see that the leaves are pretty large. They're pretty mature. I have one and it hasn't pushed out nearly as much growth. So I don't know if it's a slower growing plant, but we will see what that all looks like. And I love the Philodendron mayoi. I just remember years back, this philodendron was quite expensive, and now it is not. It is one of those plants that I think, with big box stores and with nurseries like Proven Winners, the fact that they were able to make them readily available for the general public, I really appreciate that. It brings me a lot of joy to be able to see this. And, as far as me wanting to buy this, I'm super tempted to buy this. But again, I'm holding my plant budget, just because if I am able to find that Proven Winners Anthurium dock block at this Home Depot, I'm definitely going to buy it, hands down. But this is a strong contender for me to take home. I mean, you can take a look at this. Let me know in the comments what you think about this Philodendron mayoi. I think it's beautiful. And, Philodendron mayoi, it's a pretty easy to care for plant. And I love the fact that the leaves have an interesting shape about it. I mean, take a look at that. And the thing about it is, even though it is not a variegated plant, I still find beauty in the fact that it's got a beautiful green color to its leaves. I don't know. It's one of those things where now, even though I do like the variegated plants, I will always like variegated plants, I have a strong appreciation for green colored plants. Now, we're going to go keep looking for those anthuriums, but for now, I'm going to keep talking about some of the other plants here. You can see that Crotons was $24.98. Now it's $19.99. And, the reason why a lot of these Crotons, this one is specifically a Croton Petra, they made them more on sale because the fall season is coming to a close. We're now going to be more into the Christmas holiday seasonal plants, a lot of the pines, a lot of the cypress, that sort of thing. And you can see right over here, this is one of my favorite cordyline Hawaiian tea plants. This is the cordyline kiwi, because it just has so many colors to it. You've got some pinks, you've got some neon green, you've got some yellowish colored leaves. And it's just a very interesting plant. I would love to be able to grow a cordyline plant indoors, but I've had many instances where I've tried to grow this plant indoors and it ends up just getting spider mites. There's just a lot of plants, and I've talked about this in a lot of my videos, but certain plants are really not meant to grow indoors because we're just not able to give it the actual environment it needs. Even though we do put grow lights, even though we put humidity, sometimes they just are not meant to grow indoors. Now, as far as this plant right here, this one is an easy to care for indoor plant, large spathiphyllum right here. I mean, look at how massive the leaves are. And peace lilies, I always say that this is an easy to care for plant, but it's one of those plants that it doesn't really interest me. I suppose if I find like a spathiphyllum or peace lily picasso, a variegated one, that might be something that I'd be interested in, but I just feel like there's just a lot of surface space for that particular plant. Still, it's an easy to care for plant, one that I would recommend for anybody beginning plants. And then also, if you go to a big box store like Home Depot, you will find some really good deals on hanging baskets. These are by Vigoro Plants. You can see these are for $19.98. This is a Philodendron heteroraceum Brazil classic plant. It's a plant I would recommend. It's a plant that I feel like everybody needs to add in their plant collection. And then you can see right over here, we've got another Hoya carnosa, Crimson Princess. Really like the look of this plant as well. I find it super attractive, and it's an easy to care for plant as well. This one again is for $19.98. And if you notice, the leaves have more of a pinkish color. That's because it's gotten some more bright light. It's sun stress, and that's the cool thing about Hoya. Hoyas. If you are sun stressing it, meaning you're providing it with more light than it really requires, but not necessarily burning it, it's going to give you some really good coloration and possible variegation. So that's an added bonus to succulents, you know, and also Hoyas. So as far as the Hoyas, $19.98. You know, with Hoyas, I wouldn't overwater them. I would actually wait till their soil is completely dry before you water them, and try to give them more bright light. They like that more so than being in a low light condition. I don't think low light conditions are really going to work well for Hoyas, but again, for those that are Hoya lovers, Hoya heads, please leave in the comments your plant care tips, because I'm not necessarily an expert of Hoyas, but I know some of you guys are. And I did want to pan over some of the planters. So, you know, as far as me doing big box or plant shopping videos, I do want to show you some of the plant products I use and some of the planters that I'm really into. So these terracotta planters I love, and then I do like the look of this, $9.97. I did wish that this would actually have a drainage hole, but I really like that minimalistic look. I love very matte finishes for planters. I just find that to be a little bit more modern looking, a little bit more sleek, and you know, that's really what the aesthetics for my plant collection would be as far as like planters. Although I would say I've been buying a bunch of self-watering planters, just the white ones, because I want to continue to transfer a lot of my plants into semi-hydro. I just find that semi-hydro is a lot easier to grow plants. And then you can see right here, I'm going to keep searching for that particular Proven Winners Dock Block Anthurium, but you can see we've got a bunch of Monstera deliciosas and a massive Alocasia regal shields, and this one is for $24.98. And the thing about Alocasia regal shields is, look at how gorgeous the veining is of this Alocasia. This Alocasia can actually grow to a pretty large size, but the thing about it is, this Alocasia is also very much spider mite prone, or a spider mite magnet when you try to grow them indoors. I really think they're really best to be outside, but you know, if you're able to grow an Alocasia regal shields, I mean, more power to you. I just have tried to grow that in the past and it hasn't done well for me. And then you can see, as far as like holiday plants, now they're taking blooming Anthurium. I wish it was actually the Proven Winners Dock Block Anthurium, but you know, this is the most common Anthurium you will find at a big box store. I really like it. They come in many different varieties of blooms, but the most common one would be the red one. And then I'm just gonna go walk around here. There are a couple of other houseplants I can show you, but I want to walk around here and just show you some of the indoor and outdoor plants. You can see we've got some chrysanthemums there. We've got some more shrubs that are pretty much native, or at least can grow in Texas. So me growing in you know, plants outdoors in Texas, my grow zone is 8B. There are certain plants that are a little bit more conducive to grow long term for me at, you know, North Dallas. But you can see right here, that is a variegated ginger. I really like that plant. The thing about it is, I've tried to grow variegated ginger indoors. It did not work for me. It was not happy growing indoors. So it's one of those plants that you have to grow outside. And before I go into more of the outdoor plants, I did want to walk over here and just show you a couple more plant products I would recommend. I really love using Super Thrive vitamin solution. This one's for $15.47. Super Thrive is amazing. So I use it for my semi-hydro water nutrients, as well as just in watering. You can actually water your plant with this daily, or at least with every watering. It does provide a B vitamin that really helps with stress plants. I always say water your plants whenever you're doing, you know, repots, or if you're converting a plant from soil to semi-hydro. I really think that Super Thrive is a great plant product. That rooting powder is one I've used in the past that does very well as far as like soil propagations. And then I actually like Miracle Grow. Some people have their own opinions about Miracle Grow. They're not really a fan, but I'm a fan of it because Miracle Grow fertilizer is actually really cost effective. I've used the liquid fertilizer, I've used the Quick Start, and I definitely use the all-purpose Miracle Grow fertilizer. It's got a 20-20-20 nutrient solution for it, and it pretty much works on any plants. I would say you can use it half dose. And then as far as fish plant food, highly recommend fish fertilizer. I mean, if you use like maybe half the dose or a quarter of the dose, you can water your plants with pretty much every watering to feed the plant. You know, it doesn't really burn the plant if you're over fertilizing it, because it's a very gentle fertilizer. It's an organic fertilizer. It's a natural fertilizer. And again, fish fertilizer for me would be something I would recommend. Now I'm going to walk over here and show you some Encore azalea. So I know we are looking for the proven winners, dog block Anthurium, but whenever I go to a big box store, I will always show you outdoor gardening plants, because for me, outdoor gardening plants are also a huge interest of mine. You can see this is for $32.98. We've got some Encore azaleas, and again with azaleas, I love them. They are blooming shrubs that will actually rebloom at least 3 times a year. Most azalea varieties will not rebloom. They usually just bloom in the spring or early summer, but the Encore azalea will bloom spring, summer, and fall. So you can see right over here, this one is already starting to bloom. And the thing about Encore azalea or any azaleas, if you're going to plant them in your landscape, you want to plant them with more acidic soil. And to get your soil more acidic, you can always add like coffee grounds to the soil. They really like that. And also, when you plant in Encore azalea, you want to make sure, and I will cannot stress this, that you keep the soil moist, not overwater, but moist, because the roots are very fine, and that's the fastest way to kill an azalea. They have very fine roots. They don't do very well in drought. You have to really let these the roots establish before they can really tolerate being in drought. Now over here, I want to show you this planter again. It's a mixed planter. I am a fan of it. You can see this is that Asiatic jasmine that has more of that orange variegation. Love that as well, mixed with the Croton. So this is more of a fall seasonal planter that people probably utilize during the Halloween season. And then you can see they've got some beautiful flowers here. So I'm just going to walk around and show you guys some more of the outdoor plants. And you can see this one is $18.98. Love the look of this Encore azalea. You look at that bloom right there. And you can see plant foldies that we've got a plethora of different types of plants available. Those canna lilies are still within season. And then I just love the fact that Home Depot has just so many varieties of flowering plants. And then we have coral bells right here. And the thing about coral bells is they have a really nice color, a nice leaf interest. Now with coral bells, they do like sun. I've tried to grow these actually indoors. It did not work out for me. It ended up getting spider mites. So again, a lot of these outdoor plants, some of them are not versatile enough to be put into an indoor space, especially the ones that really require full sun. So that's what I wanted to just highlight. So if you've ever tried to grow plants that are really meant to be outdoors, the ones that are full sun loving, it's going to be a challenge to grow them indoors. But like I said, again, I did want to also feature some of these holiday Christmas type plants. Look at this right over here. This one is only for $10.98. This is a lemon cypress, and I love the look of it because it's got more of that neon green, neon colored foliage on it. And I really love that it has a natural cylindrical type shape to it. And let's take a look at this one right over here, plant foldies. We've got another one for $10.98. What type of plant is this? This is another type of cypress. This is a Euro cypress. And if you're looking for Christmas decor that you can carry over past the Christmas season or the holiday season, buy yourself one of these Christmas type tree type plants. These are considered living Christmas trees. The only thing is these will not do long-term indoors. You really want to grow these outdoors. They're really not meant to grow indoors. And that's why I always find it interesting that, people will take an Alberta spruce or an Italian stone pine and try to grow it indoors, because these plants really require quite a bit of light for them to do well. But, needless to say, these are super cute. I was actually thinking a lot of these plants could be be good for bonsai. So for those that don't know what bonsai are, it's the Japanese art of actually growing plants in a shallow container that mimics more so a miniature tree. I mean, this right here, you can see that this is a dwarf Alberta spruce. Would be really interesting to see if these could actually be great bonsai, pre-bonsai specimens. So for those that actually grow bonsai or are into bonsai, do you ever utilize a lot of the pines that are more readily available, when they come out for the holiday season? But I am just going to pick up a couple of more of these plants and just walk around and show you these Christmas trees or live Christmas trees. I am noticing that Home Depot and a lot of the big box stores are getting ready to get their live Christmas trees. So we will definitely see that. I will try my very best to go ahead and film that. But again, it has been a very busy 2 weeks, 3 weeks already for me with just work and trying to balance that out. I do appreciate you guys for always tuning in to watch my plant shopping videos. And again, if you made it this far into the video and you haven't hit the like button already, please make sure you are hitting the like button for this video. It really helps me out. It's a huge way to support my channel, and in also sharing these videos to your friends. If you have, social media platforms like Instagram or Facebook, I would really love that support as well. Would really appreciate it. But you can see right here, this is by J. Berry, but you see that we've got even more Alberta spruce trees, $22.98. These are super cute. What I would do if I am going to buy one of these plants is I would actually buy it and I would actually grow this as like a patio garden plant versus taking this indoors. It is interesting though to see if anybody actually takes these living Christmas trees to grow indoors long term. I think it would just be a challenge. I don't think it would be one of those plants that you could grow indoors. I know that a lot of big box stores will also carry what you would call a Norfolk pine, which is more of a tropical plant to grow as a indoor plant. So you can see over here, we even have more plants here by season. This one is for $14.98, and then this one is a really nice looking plant. I would say this would actually make a good shrub for a Japanese garden. So if you're looking for smaller shrub type plants, you can get these pines and these cypress. And for me, I'm actually curious to see if anybody's actually grown an Alberta spruce in the ground in a landscape. Now, I also find that rosemary plants are used for Christmas trees, so it smells very good. I love the smell of rosemary. It's a nice herb, but you can see that we have a bunch of these readily available as well. And I just find it interesting that we have these different types of live Christmas tree type plants that come out at a big box store like Home Depot. I do want to ask anybody, if you buy your live Christmas trees from Home Depot, Lowe's, or Walmart, I'm curious to see where most people will buy their live Christmas trees, or do you go to like a live Christmas tree like nursery specifically? So leave in the comments what that looks like for you. I will say, if I am gonna pick a plant that is a live Christmas tree, I would buy the Italian stone pine. I just think that it's a lovely looking plant, and it does have that nice natural shape just like a Christmas tree. So this is a holiday tree. This is trees that will only be shown or actually be more readily available during the holiday season, and it's one that I would recommend, the Italian stone pine. And then we just have more plants right over here. So that is the beauty of big box stores. You will always find many different plants, and most big box stores stay within trend as far as being seasonally relevant. Last month in October, they had a bunch of croton plants, and I would say crotons are definitely not meant to grow in the fall. They really like full sun, high humidity, tropical environments. But hey, as far as being an annual plant, they are considering that they really wouldn't grow long term in a colder environment, but they have fall color leaves. So I suppose that's what makes them a seasonal plant for decoration. And it's just really interesting the uses we have for plants. I know that a lot of us will utilize plants also for decorative purposes, but when we make plants decorative purposes, it doesn't always align with, the plant being able to grow long term, if that makes any sense. But, this is a plant, for instance, that I feel like is a seasonal plant. This is the Norfolk pine. They have a bunch of those. And then, it's interesting how they have celosas right over here as well. I mean, I guess it can be a Christmas holiday type plant. And then you can see that most plants will become a seasonal plant when you start putting little bows and ribbons like that. And you can see that Costa Farms for $12.98 has a bunch of Norfolk pines. Costa Farms definitely has produced quite a bit to provide big box stores. You can see that these are really cute ornaments, and it does have that holiday feel for it. But if you ever saw a Norfolk pine in its full maturity, it has an interesting shape about it. I would do a search on the website, on the internet for it, and find an actual picture, but it's really nice looking. Again, these are for $12.98. So Costa Farms has already pushed out a lot of these Norfolk pine to Lowe's and Home Depot. So I'm curious to see if they will also push out a bunch at Walmart. All of those three major big box stores that I go to go plant shopping, they tend to have the same plants, but it just really depends on the plant pricing. I would go and add on a limb and say that Walmart will probably have the most cost-effective plant pricing, but you never know. Sometimes Home Depot will actually put these plants straight on sale, and then Lowe's will also clearance out their plants. So for me, that's the reason why I like to go do big box store plant shopping videos on a daily basis, because you just never know what you're going to run into. But I am starting to get a little discouraged. I don't think there is a proven winners Dock Block Michelle Anthurium available at this Home Depot, but there have been instances where I was just looking all over, and all of a sudden there was like a very discreet corner of a big box store where all of a sudden you'll find that rare plant. So I'm just going to keep walking around here talking to you guys about the holiday plants and just giving you some more insights about plant care and what plants are available at big box stores. You can see we've got a bunch of blooming plants. We've got a bunch of roses. And the thing about it is I wouldn't recommend growing roses in the landscape at this point because the temperatures are going to get a little cold. So most roses at this point, I don't know if it's the time now to go ahead and prune them back for next year. I would love to be able to grow roses, but the thing about it is I've done it in the past. And one thing I will say about roses is you definitely do not want to overcrowd them. When you grow roses, you want to make sure that there is really good airflow. Otherwise, they're very much susceptible to plant pests and fungal diseases. And also watering roses leaves, you want to water from the base because you don't want their leaves to stay wet because, again, they will get that yellow black mold on their leaves. And that was one of the problems about my rose garden. I had a really beautiful variegated rose garden, but long term, it just took too much effort to try to keep them alive because I overcrowded them. And you can see right here, as far as like variegated plants, variegated blooming plants, I love this bougainvillea blueberry ice. I love the variegated leaves, and for a variegated plant that takes full sun and can tolerate the heat, I think that's fabulous because most variegated plants you would think are a little bit more sensitive to getting a lot of sun, but this plant needs to be in full sun. And so as far as bougainvilleas, I will always be a fan of bougainvilleas. I think that most people overlook bougainvilleas. For me, I would be able to grow bougainvilleas only as an annual plant or as a plant that is going to stay in a container, because my grow zone, which is 8B in North Dallas, I mean, we get really harsh cold winters, and that plant is more of a tropical plant and it will not survive being in a landscape. And speaking of plants, so I remember buying a bunch of these calatheas, these large calathea. This is a Calathea rospicta. This one is still for $18.88, but if you notice, they used to be very, very beautiful. They've had some really nice shine on the leaves, but you can see the leaves are now really crispy or starting to get crispy, browning. And, you know, it's just sad because, you know, calatheas, I always wonder why calatheas are, you know, produced as a house plant. Same thing with the geonanthus plant or the geo plant, that black plant that, you know, Costa Farms has released. These are plants that are so challenging to grow long term. I just feel like that most of them will end up going to plant heaven. But as far as a plant that will not go to plant heaven, it's an easy to care for plant, $19.98, Aglaonema red Siam. You already know if it's going to be a grow folds, plant foldy video, I will find a way to show an Aglaonema, because I have been extremely passionate about trying to influence people to buying Aglaonema. So Costa Farms, at least at Lowe's, has really released a lot of these Aglaonema varieties. I would say if you want an easy to care for plant and you trust my judgment in terms of recommendations, buy an Aglaonema. Leave in the comments if you've ended up buying one because of my recommendations, and let me know how that goes for you. I think it's an easy to care for plant. Now over here we have a Croton petra. These ones I believe are for $9.97. So a lot of these crotons, you know, there were so many varieties, so many to pick from, and now that November is here and Halloween is over and we're moving along the seasons very quickly, they have become more of a plant that's going to be on sale. Yucca plants, really like them as well. I just don't grow them because they take up a lot of space when they get a little bit larger. I'd rather choose like a Monstera deliciosa or a large foliage plant. And then you can see right here, we've got some Ficus elastica burgundy and then some more cordyline Hawaiian tea plants. So I'm just going to walk around and show you the foliage. Here we have seen some beautiful bird of paradise. Now bird of paradise, it is a plant that if you're going to grow it indoors, they can get large, but you're going to need to give it quite a bit of light. I would position a bird of paradise right next to a window, a south facing window or a west facing window to really provide it. And if you're able to grow your bird of paradise outdoors for a season, you're going to actually do much better than indoor spaces, because bird of paradise, it's one of those plants that just really needs a lot of light light. I would say growing a bird of paradise indoors, you will not really see blooms. It's really hard to get them to bloom indoors because of the amount of light it requires. It's really a tropical plant. Now, if you live out in Florida, I'm pretty sure that these can be like landscape plants. And again, that's the reason why a lot of these tropical indoor plants do best in climates like Florida, because that's really the natural environment. You know, there is never really a plant that is known as an indoor plant. Indoor plants are really just a concept where it has been able to get adapted into, but all of these plants are sourced out from an area where they get to grow outdoors. You know, there's not a plant that just magically appeared indoors. It just so happens that we've been able to find plant care tips and plant care that will be more conducive to growing a plant indoors. Like this Ficus lyrata, for instance, it's got to get a lot of light. Otherwise, it's not going to do well. It will actually drop its leaves. It's a finicky plant in that sense. I have one though that I've kind of neglected, and surprisingly, it's done well for me. But anyways, as far as all of the large plants at this Home Depot, I mean, I'm running out of options to show you. I really don't see the proven winners, Dock Block Anthurium, but you know, I will continue to just look for it, and we'll see what that all looks like. If it's not at this big box store, I'm sure it's gonna pop up somewhere.
Blacking out the mirror where your light won't reflect it. All of the love from up above, we used to feel like a glove.
Plant foliage, you can see we've got some gorgeous succulent plants right here. I'm just gonna go and pull up a couple of succulent plants. Really like the look of it. You know, and you can see that they just got a shipment in, and I always like going to a big box store whenever they have new shipments. It just makes it easy for me to shop, because I feel like plants are gonna be a little bit more fresh when you go to a big box store like Home Depot. You can see right here, this is that rainbow elephant bush. And so I'm just gonna pick up a couple of these hanging baskets. Again, plant foliage, let me know what you think about some of these plants right here. This is only for $12.98, which I think is a really good plant price.
Blacking out the mirror where your light won't reflect it. All of the love from up above, we used to feel like a glove.
And you can see they've got some starters here of some different types of succulents. I like this Kalanchoe. I like the fuzzy versions of it. Look at how cute that is. And you can just see we have many varieties to pick from. And unfortunately, that Home Depot, I was not able to find the proven winners. Anthurium, Dock Block. So I am just going to go to Kroger just to end my day off, just to see what plants they may potentially have at this Kroger. This Kroger is out in Frisco, Texas, right off of Custer Road in El Dorado. So, you know, this is one of the places that I have been able to find some pretty good plants for a really good cost-effective price. I love the new holiday plants that they're getting as well today. These are for $29.99. I like it. This is the Leland Cypress planter for $29.99. And you know, when I did go to the Home Depot earlier that day, I was really set on finding the proven winners, Dock Block Anthurium, and I'm just a little slightly disappointed because it's one of those you know, things where I go plant hunting and I try to find them at big box stores. And again, for those that continue to tune into my videos, really appreciate it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to tune in and actually show you a Dock Block Anthurium. Hopefully it does show up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Leave in the comments, send me an Instagram message if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you find a Dock Block Anthurium Anthurium by Proven Winners at Home Depot. I'm sure it will pop up at some point. But, as far as this Kroger's, if you ever go grocery store plant shopping, you're going to find some pretty cost-effective plant pricing, like these mums right here. Gorgeous mums for $9.99. Really like the look of that as well. And then you can just see right over here, we have even more mums to pick from. So I'm just going to walk around and just show you a little bit at Kroger's. I might be able to find something interesting to purchase. I always feel like I have to purchase plants at a big box store or a grocery store, especially Kroger, because they do have some amazing plants. Love their plant setup as well. These are super lush and healthy plants. And the one thing I will say about grocery store plants is they treat it like fresh produce. So if there's a plant that's not healthy, they will clearance it out and try to get it out. So that way they always have a fresh assortment of houseplants to pick from. So let's just admire how gorgeous these chrysanthemum are.
You don't want my heart, you don't want my love, you just want me crying over you. You don't want my heart, you don't want my love, you just want me crying over you. And I'm thinking about you.
That we have some Phalaenopsis orchids. Now these ones are dyed, so you can see that that's really not a real pink. Eventually when it reblooms, it'll probably be a white Phalaenopsis orchids. Again, Kroger's probably has the best variety of Phalaenopsis orchids alongside with Trader Joe's. I don't have a lot of Phalaenopsis orchids, but I do find this one really intriguing. I just wish that this would be a real color bloom, but these are also dyed. So what happens is that they actually get these Phalaenopsis orchids to soak up some dyed water, which actually dyes their leaves. I did it once as in elementary school, where we got some white carnations and we put them in water that was with food coloring, and eventually it actually dyed the actual petals. So I thought that was really interesting. But you can see here there are many types of Phalaenopsis orchids to pick from. These are all, I believe, for $19.99. This one actually has Phalaenopsis orchids with bromeliads. Really love the look of that as well. And I just really like the fact that this plant is readily available again at Kroger grocery store. So we're just going to keep walking around here. I do love plant shopping at night just because there's not as many people. And can we talk about how gorgeous this peace lily is, or spathiphyllum? And guess what? It is only for $19.99. And again, it is all about getting that prices right. To me, if you want a large plant that's easy to care for, very low light tolerant, I would recommend getting a spathiphyllum or peace lily. I mean, let me know in the comments if you would agree. If you grow peace lilies, it is a very thirsty plant. It is a plant that I really love as well. And we're just going to keep walking around here, and you can see that there is a pineapple bromelia for $19.99. So this one is actually kind of expensive for a bromeliad, but needless to say, it's a super cute plant. Let me know in the comments if you have bromeliads. I just love the look of that as well. just love looking at all of these Phalaenopsis orchids. I mean, they just have beautiful blooms. And even take a look at that over there, all of the chrysanthemums and mums. And then now I'm going to just walk around to see what houseplants that they have available in the next table. Everybody's favorite, it's the Hedera helix. Really love the Hedera helix or English ivy. Absolutely stunning plant. It's just a plant that is a little bit more challenging to grow. And these are sourced up by Mason Farm. So you can see this one is for $9.99. You know, for English ivy, I just say don't grow them as a house plant. Just grow them outdoors. They will do fine for you. If you try to grow them indoors, it's just really challenging. You already know that as gorgeous as these plants are, they are very much spider mite prone. You're also asking for more plant pests to make it into your plant collection. And you know how discouraging it is once you get a plant pest infestation. I just wouldn't recommend it. It's one of those situations where I just like to admire Hedera helix at Kroger's or any other local nursery. But as you can see here, they do have a plethora of different types of English ivy. Like this one has some really nice variegation. You know, I love English ivy. I've just sent 14 of them to Plant Heaven. I have one left, and you know, it's one of those plants where I just need to make sure that I'm watering it consistently and it will do okay. I wouldn't say it's really thriving, but it's still gorgeous. I just love the variegation that it has as well. And I love this Costa Farms philodendron. This is for $14.99. This is the philodendron Birkin. And for some reason, I've been getting into Birkin again, even though this is a common philodendron. I just love the white margins on the leaves. Now, not all philodendron Birkin are created equal. Some of them have higher variegation than others. Although I've been told that this particular philodendron, the more light you give it, the better variegation it's going to get. And I've actually seen it with my philodendron Birkins. I had it right next to a grow light that pretty much stays on all the time, and the last few leaves literally were almost just pure white. So I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing for the plant, since it's going to need some green, some chlorophyll to be able to like photosynthesize. But $14.99, that is not a bad price at all for the philodendron Birkin. And then as far as just all of these house plants, again, if you're ever needing to do a late night plant shopping excursion, I would recommend going to Kroger grocery store, because I believe most of them are open till 1 a.m. You know, a lot of the big box stores will close at 10, and I think Walmart closes at 11. So if I ever need to see plants, I will just need to be sure that the plants I go to like a Kroger grocery store. Like you can see, this is another Sansevieria Golden Flame. Beautiful plant. One that is for a beginner and easy care plant. One that I think everybody should add to their plant collection. I wouldn't add a Photonia necessarily, because as pretty as the color is, I love pink plants. This one needs to be watered more consistently. And I'm at the point now where I just don't water my plants as consistent. It's just a really challenging plant to grow for me long term. It might work for others. You know, Sansevieria or snake plants are super easy. And then I'm just gonna keep pulling up some plants and showing you. Let me know in the comments what's your favorite, what plants you like, and if you ever buy at grocery stores like Kroger. And you can see right here, we've got an Aglaonema Silver Bay. Really like the look of that. And that one is also for $14.99. I never get tired of Aglaonemas. I think they're fabulous, and I think they are just fantabulous, and I just can't keep saying that they're fabulous, but they really are super easy plants. And I love the pink on this bromeliad, $14.99 as well.
All of the time we spent together in our prime, we were birds of a feather, different kind. We were laughing through the pain, you were never once so.
And when you talk about philodendron Birkins, or what they call white margin, this one doesn't have nearly as much variegation. So philodendron Birkin is not all created equal. Some of them are a little bit more variegated than others. And this one for $13.99 is a Calathea rosea rospicta, beautiful plant. One that I cannot grow into my plant collection ever again, just because I've already sent it to Plant Heaven multiple times, and it was one of those plants that I've tried different substrates and it still just didn't work out for me. Ficus lyrata, or fiddle fig leaf, this one's for $19.99, so it's a little bit more pricey, at least for the size of the fiddle fig leaf. You can get like a full grown tree at that size, but you know, if you want something small for a smaller space, I believe that this one would work. I just don't know about the actual plant pricing for it. And that's the thing about going big box store plant shopping or grocery store plant shopping. Compare the plant pricing, because not all plants are priced equally as well.
All of the time we spent together in our prime, we were birds of a feather, different kind. We were laughing through the pain, you were never once so vague. Cut the cord that kept us connected, blacking out the mirror where your light once reflected. All of the love from up above.
And I love the philodendron Birkin. Again, this one has some pretty good variegation. Just take a look at the white margins. I think it's stunning, and I think it's another plant that I feel like is underrated now. I don't think a lot of people are running to get a philodendron Birkin, but you know, can you imagine one that's a really large size? It is somewhat of a climber as well, because it eventually will need some type of support system to keep it going. But as far as the margins, I'm just going to keep going in detail. Look at how gorgeous that is. And that's the thing, you know, I have to kind of console myself, because I was really hoping that I would find the proven winners dock block Anthurium, but I just need to be thankful that I can at least go out and about and look at plants. I know that that particular proven winners plant is going to eventually make it to the Dallas market, but sometimes you just really want that plant to make it. And I do believe that like the Dallas-Fort Worth area has a really good way of sourcing these plants to, you know, the big box stores. So maybe the next week I'm going to keep trying to search for that. But for now, I'm just going to console myself and look at some pretty plants at Kroger. I mean, this is my go-to Kroger. I'm really based close to this one. So I'm always looking for plants like this Hoya carrii, $13.99. That's a really good plant price for it. And again, I say that Kroger has some good plant pricing. And if you catch them when they are trying to liquidate their plants, they are super cheap. I was able to get an Aglaonema, for instance, for $1.30. And that was actually a really good price. But I'm just going to keep picking up plants here. This one is really cool. Alocasia stingray, $13.99. And while it's not really a rare Alocasia anymore, it's still one that you don't commonly see, and this alocasia can get fairly large. I just love that little tail at the bottom or the top of the leaf. Really nice looking plant, and it's another one that I would recommend if you want a more unique looking alocasia, but I would still say it is a bit of a finicky plant. I would put it in semi-hydro like Lechuza Pon or Leca if you really want to grow it out a little bit more so. But it's a gorgeous alocasia, and I'm just going to keep picking up some more plants to show you and then eventually end this video. All the plants I'm picking up are all sourced out from Mason Farms, which is actually in New Mexico. So it's a nursery out in New Mexico. Really like that. And you could see that this one though is $19.99 for this Aglaonema silver base. So even if you compare the Mason Farms one versus a Costa Farms one, they're the same size, but Costa Farms is $14.99. So even the plant pricing, there's a little bit of discrepancies on the range of how much a plant costs. And then also golden pothos for $19.99 in a 6-inch planter. I wouldn't buy it just because I can find that for $9.99 as well somewhere else. So comparing plant pricing as you go plant shopping is really key. I think it's important for us to be really cognizant of like what plant pricing we are finding at big box stores and grocery stores, because we don't all have dispensable income. And even if you did have dispensable income, I say always go with a budget, because it's always good to save money for the future. But as far as all of the plants here, I think they're beautiful. Calathea lancifolia, $19.99 as well. It's a beautiful plant, but again, it's one of those plants that I just cannot grow long term. I mean, let me know in the comments if you agree, if calatheas are challenging, but I like to admire them. I've started to realize that I could just have my own plant collection by doing window plant shopping, not necessarily buying the plant, because I just can't help that. It's such a beautiful plant, but for $19.99, knowing that I can send this to plant heaven, it is not my cup of tea. See right over here, I've just picked up so many beautiful plants. Look at this peperomia raindrop. I really like that as well for $19.99. So it's a little bit pricey. There is a little bit more pricey plants today at Kroger. I'm surprised, but overall, I think it's been a really good day, as far as just being able to look at plants. Hopefully you guys have all enjoyed my plant insights, my plant care tips. I know that you've asked me to give you a little bit more of the plant care tips as I talk about the plants. I am am wanting to get that philodendron Birkin. But for now, let's just hit the like button for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Growfolds with all the notification bell on. This is Richie. I am going to find that Anthurium soon. Bye.